I, the empire that touched every shore. Great Britain rose from revolutions, shattered thrones and shifting bloodlines. When Europe staggered after Napoleon's fall, Britain emerged transformed. Not merely victorious, but global. Its navy pierced every ocean, its merchants crossed every sea, its soldiers marched across continents, its language and laws spread like wildfire. But the children of light sensed a darker current beneath the expansion. This was not exploration, not curiosity, nor innocent progress. It was empire shaped by an ancient whisper that had guided tyrants since the beginning. Kill, steal, destroy. The shadow had simply chosen a new face, a new flag, a new crown. It murmured in royal courts and merchant guilds to rule the world, reshape it. The age of discovery, light wrapped in darkness. British explorers sailed under banners of civilization and science. They charted oceans, mapped continents, and recorded cultures unknown to the West. At first, light rejoiced. Knowledge expanding, worlds connecting. But darkness boarded every ship in royal cabins and admiral quarters. The destructive image whispered, "Claim these lands, declare dominion. Your crown is ordained to rule." Discovery became conquest, curiosity became possession. The age of discovery became the age of erasure. The shadow of colonization, as British ships landed on distant shores, Africa, Asia, the Americas, the Caribbean, the Pacific. Explorers became conquerors and conquerors became governors. Indigenous nations were labeled uncivilized, primitive, soulless, heathen. These labels did not arise from light, but from shadow, for dehumanization always precedes domination. What followed was centuries of cultural suppression, forced conversions, resource extraction, epidemics and engineered famines, displacement and reservations, slavery and forced labor, broken treaties, generational trauma. The British Empire called this a civilizing mission. But the children of light saw its true creed. Kill their bodies, steal their lands, destroy their memory. Righteousness wrapped around conquest is the oldest deception of all. Light among the conquerors, yet even within empire, light moved. Some missionaries defended indigenous lives, some scholars preserved languages, some British officials protested injustice, some rebels inside the empire rejected oppression. Light flickered, in courts where a few dared speak truth, in mission houses where some chose compassion, in abolition movements that challenged the machine, but the machinery of empire, fueled by ambition and profit, outweighed these embers. Colonization's core was control, not compassion. And the shadow fed on systems that divided humanity into rulers and subjects, masters and natives, centers and margins. Via the machinery of empire, Britain built tools that seemed administrative, but were forged for domination. Surveys that redrew ancient homelands as straight lines on foreign maps, censuses that divided tribes into exploitable categories, legal codes that dismissed sacred customs as superstition, schools that replaced indigenous identity with imperial loyalty, economies that enslaved through wages, taxes and debt, railways and ports designed not for local flourishing, but for faster extraction of wealth. This was conquest without constant sword or spear, domination made efficient, control systematized. The children of darkness refined their method. Why destroy a people outright when you can remake them in your image? The empire became a machine, massive, righteous in its own eyes, blind to the blood on its gears. Via the scattering of nations, wherever Britannia's flag rose, indigenous nations endured catastrophic transformation. Africa, kingdoms fractured, borders cut across ancient lands. India, culture stratified, economies reordered for empire. Australia, peoples nearly erased, labeled as if they were wildlife. North America, tribes displaced and confined, their lands renamed. Caribbean, plantations turned people into capital. Pacific, traditions forcibly drowned under colonial rule. Languages vanished, bloodlines scattered, ancient knowledge unraveled. The children of light mourned, for every people carries a fragment of divine creativity. every culture destroyed, wounds the tapestry of humanity. The roll call of the colonized, to understand the depth of the shadows reach through Britain. One must read not just maps, but scars, the carved motherland. Across the African continent, the British arrived with treaties in one hand and rifles in the other. They took and broke.
Nigeria, Uganda, Tanzania, and Zanzibar. South Africa,
Sundandwe,
Zimbabwe,
Zimbabwe,
Malawi,
Malawi,
Maznyala,
Gambia, Sierra Leone, Eswatini, in these lands. In these lies, in these lies, in these lies, in these lies. In these lies, in these lies, in these lies, in these lies. In these lands, in these lands, in these lands, in these lands. And the motherland's children were turned into labor for empire. The crown's eastern net, the shadow extended through Asian kingdoms and empires. Wearing the mask of protection, trade and mandates. India, Pakistan and Bangladesh. Myanmar, Malaysia and Singapore. Sri Lanka, Jordan, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, United Arab Emirates and Yemen. Israel and Palestine, Hong Kong, and these lands. And these lies, in these lands, in these lands, in these lands. In these lands. The empire manipulated dynasties, borders and sects, turning regions into chessboards for distant kings. 3 Americas and Caribbean, the sugar, the chains and the smoke across the Atlantic. The British Empire grew fat on sugar, cotton, tobacco and stolen labor. Canada, Balas, Canada, Jamaica, Barbuda, Trinidad and Tobago. Here too, indigenous peoples were declared subjects on their own land, treated as obstacles to progress, pressured into abandoning ancient ways and rewritten in the empire's image over all these regions. The same spiritual signature could be read: kill, steal, destroy, in the name of civilization. Indigenous peoples were declared subjects on their own land, treated as obstacles to progress, pressured into abandoning ancient ways and rewritten in the empire's image over all these regions. The same spiritual signature could be read: kill, steal, destroy, in the name of civilization. BT. Illusion of civilization. Britain believed itself the world's teacher, bringing law, order, advancement. But under the shadow's guidance,
law became just, it became federation. Order became rigid hierarchy. Advancement became forced assimilation. Enlightenment became selective truth that erased others. The empire claimed to carry light, yet light liberates.
and this system controlled, exploited, and silenced. Domination betrayed its true master.
Asia, and Zanzibar.
I asked the hidden reason behind the conquest. The children of light understood that the British Empire was not merely political or economic. It was strategic in the unseen war. Through Britain, the shadows sought to control three foundations of the world. One identity, erase indigenous cultures, overwrite spiritual maps, and make the motherland and other ancient peoples doubt their place in God's story. Two resources, drain lands of gold, oil, rubber, spices, people, and power, weakening nations before the prophetic ages to come. Three destiny, shape a global order, aligned with the coming shadow empire. A world so used to control that it would hardly recognize its chains. Every nation conquered, strengthened the shadow's long game. Every culture erased, narrowed humanity's spiritual memory. Every lineage scattered, fueled future confusion.
What the age of discovery truly set in motion. By the late 19th century, Great Britain ruled nearly 1/4 of the earth. Not only its land and oceans, but its laws, languages.
Under the spectacle of empire, the shadow prepared something unprecedented.
A globalized world with blurred borders, mixed identities, manufactured histories, and forgotten origins. For the shadow knew, a world without roots is easier to rule. Yet, from the ruins of oppressed peoples, from scattered nations and broken tribes, from the remnants of erased cultures, light endured, identity whispered through memory, hope survived in trauma, traditions lived underground, songs of resistance rose in code and rhythm, for the light never abandons the oppressed, and the cracks within empire would soon awaken a new age of uprisings. Independence movements and prophetic realignment. Great Britain reshaped the world, but the consequences of its shadow-driven conquest were only the beginning. The stage was set for the next chapter of the Chronicles, when the persecuted, scattered, and colonized would rise to reclaim what no empire can permanently steal: their image, their origin, and their God-given destiny.